everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and for today, oh man, we got a swatchathon coming and I am so excited for this one. I have been like quietly amassing just a poop ton of shades. We have everything from the Pastel Roses that I own. So everything on this side I have already swatched in previous videos, so I'll make sure that like as we go that I throw those up for you guys, because otherwise this would be like an hour long. And so we are just going to focus on this side, which has so many different types of formulas. We've got super awesome foils, just standard multichromes, some of your shimmer multichromes, some of these like multi-toned marble shades. It's just going to be all of it. So we're going to swatch 100% of this, and I will make sure that I provide names as we go so that you guys know exactly what shades we're talking about. And yeah, I am just really excited to just finally have a video solely showcasing the Pastel Roses for you guys, because this is a brand, like this is up there with Glam Shop as far as like one of my favorite brands of all time. So super excited to show them off to you guys. They are a UK indie brand, and so if you are over in the UK, pay attention. And if you are not, they usually have really awesome discounts throughout the year, and so make sure you're checking that out. They release new shades all the time. They have different shades that go on sale, so it is just super awesome, and you can usually find some kind of discount from them. So without further ado, let's just immediately jump right into all of the swatching. So first shade up is going to be Cupcake, and this is one of those two-toned marbly looking shades. It is a little bit of a drier consistency, but ooh, look at that. Oh man, all right. It is a little bit on the sheer side, so you would need to do a second layer with that, but it goes from like light lilac to kind of a pastel blue, and then has like a lighter blue into a deeper blue, and ever so slight like some greenish tones in there, maybe like a tealish kind of there you go, you can see that a little bit, little of that green tone on there. But oh man, all right, starting off really nice. And this is what it looks like with the second swatch, so you can see really easily buildable on there, and just such a beautiful shade with those 3 different shifts on there. Really nice. So next up is Nightmare, and some of these shades are a little bit more like Halloween themed for the combo of marble. And this guy looks, we know I always go too hard. So it looks like it has a reddish brown base to it, and then this really nice grungy kind of tinny shade on top, like a silvery gunmetal tin shade, and then with like a little bit of ever so slight some greenish sparkle in there, which I think is part of what helps give it that kind of grungy tone. But really nifty on there, and this guy was immediately opaque. Then we have the shade Witch's Cauldron, which is also a Halloween-y kind of shade, and this guy very similarly has a bit of that kind of reddish undertone to it for the base, almost like a mix between reddish and then gray, and then on top it's kind of this like more grungy teal into a grungy kind of purple tone. So there you can see like bluish to purple shift on there, with kind of that like almost similar to this guy, more of a reddish brown grayish base to it, but then very cool with that purple to kind of silverish blue shift that it has going on. Then we have Dragonfly, which looks like it's gonna be absolute. Oh. So this is very reminiscent of the Copacetic pressed flakies, but it is, holy moly. Oh my god, look at that. Look at it. It's like just this, oh my god, oh, look at that peachy tone, and then kind of greenish to yellow with some orange, and then pink in there, and then, oh, I mean, almost to a teal blue with how far that green can go. But that is just, I mean, that is lovely with how shimmery that is too. It, like, the camera is, for whatever reason, not quite giving you guys the level of foil and reflect that it has on there, but it is, like, look at this on my finger. That is the level of shine it would go very nicely with my current eye look, but that is super gorgeous. So then next up is Frankenstein. So back to the Halloween shades, and the Halloween marbles are all very thick consistency. Same thing as the other two with that kind of brownish, reddish undertone, and then this guy just goes straight into kind of a deep grayish black silver shade on top of that. Look at that. So very rich pigment on that one. And it really, when you look at this guy, brings out that kind of reddish brown base on this guy and shows you just how shiny this guy is in comparison. Almost has a bit of some green undertones in this guy as well, but just a really nice grungy shade. Then we have the shade Aventurine, and that is a lovely greenish blue, kind of back to the consistency of this guy, where you would need to build it up a little bit more because it starts off a bit more sheer. So let me go ahead and build that guy up for you guys. But really nice kind of aquamarine with a little bit of like a hint of lilac on top, but mainly that green to blue. Very, very pretty. Would be a really nice shade for layering. That is super pretty. Then we have the shade Pumpkinhead, and very interesting guy for that. Definitely has that same kind of brownish red base to it, but then layered on top, it's almost like a greenish to kind of raspberry shade. So there you can see kind of that like grungy green on top over here, and then on top there it almost gets kind of raspberry shaded. Very, very pretty shade. And then you can easily see that reddish brown base on that one. All right, and then the last of these kind of marbly ones is Hellraiser. Oh, look at that purple. That's very nice. Again, it's kind of that a little bit lighter, sheerer consistency, so we're gonna build that guy up as well. Very nice purple shade on there. Really good reflect. Has less of that like brownish red base and a little bit more of a grayish black base, and then it's kind of purplish into like a very soft burnt rose with how it looks on there, but very, very pretty. That purple is really coming through on there. And then just ever so slightly, you can see a little bit of some burnt rosish pink in there. All right, so that is all of the like two-toned marbly shades. So now we are going to get into a lot more of our metallic and shimmer type of guys that are very chunky, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So first shade up is Electric Ore, and this is just a neon orange that is definitely, I can't say that it's sheer, but it is one of those where the light has to catch it a certain way. But look at that bright orange to pink on there. It is so, so pretty, and in real life, it looks like a chrome. It's very, very gorgeous. Like, look at that. It goes from pink to orange to yellow, and that is what it looks like in real life. So for whatever reason, the swatch on my arm is just like, I'm not gonna show you, but on my finger, this is what I am seeing in real world. Then next up we have Angel, which looks really, really beautiful. Starts off with like a nice light blue, then goes into kind of a yellowish green with ever so slight some pink tones in there. So there you can see that kind of pastel blue with a just ever so slight some pink, and then finishes with that yellowish green shade on there. Definitely a little more subtle than some of the other shades, but again, in real time, very, very nice and chromy. I would imagine if you were to layer either of these two shades on top of like a black shade, it would look absolutely gorgeous. Next we have Caribbean, which is definitely more of a topper shade and goes between like a teal bluish green into purple, and it is very, very pretty, but again, definitely a topper shade. You can see on there, both of, like, really all three of these would be outstanding topper shades, because like, look at how much that can shine when you build it up on your finger. So if you use like a nice setting spray with that guy, it is gonna be absolutely stunning. Then we have the shade Comet, and this guy is also, oh wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. It goes, but this is like a rainbow shade. It goes between light blue, lilac, pink, kind of a peachy tone, yellowish to green. So there you're seeing some of that light lilac to pink with a little bit of peach. And then there's your greenish yellow, back into the purple, back into that yellowish, bluish green. And on my finger, look at how chromy that guy is. I mean, you can definitely see all of the blues, pinks, greens, yellows, purples. It is just so stunning. I mean, yeah, you put this guy on top of a black base and it is gonna glow. That is very, very nice. So I can definitely tell that the consistency of these current shades that I am doing, they are all far more of that topper kind of consistency. So it'll be very interesting to see as we get into the next row, some of these more chunky looking guys that definitely look like they are multi-chrome foils. Be very interesting to see how sheer versus opaque those are, and if you would need a base or if they're just gonna outright just go crazy. All right, so then the next shade up is going to be Island. Ooh, very nice. And yeah, this is also more of that sheer consistency. I would say a little bit more sparkly though than like these guys were. So this one just looks like it goes between kind of a teal blue and a nice like yellowish green, but not too many shifts on there. So just kind of a nice sea foam topper shade on there. All right, next up is the shade Amazonia, and ooh, this guy is the deeper mermaid shade. Yes, so definitely a deeper tone on there, like a dark teal. This is essentially the same as this shade, just darker. So you can really see those nice deep navy blues mixed in with like a medium teal into kind of that lighter goldish shade. So very similar shifts to this guy, just a darker version. But I absolutely love that shade. We know I love a good mermaid shade. And like on my finger, look at how much that chrome really comes out. I mean, that like greenish kind of slimy, oh, I love a good, like, it looks like a toxicity shade, like that is, ooh. All right, then we have the shade Illusion, and that is this guy. I'm rapidly running out of room. Ooh, okay, so this guy goes between like a purplish pink and then bluish green. I mean, look at that. So there's the purplish to blue, and then turns into that teal to kind of greenish yellow. Very, very nice as you come in and then pull back out. And then on the finger, look at that. Oh, look at that. You can really see it there. Ooh, I love it. It's so pretty. I am definitely just dying to get to the multi-chromes that are like the true chrome chromes that have that dark black base to them. They've just been staring at me this whole time, and I'm like, hi, you look so pretty. I want to swatch them. All right, so we're gonna move on to this arm next, and here we go. First shade up is Retrograde, which, oh, unexpected. I thought it was gonna be purple and pink. And there's, oh, I love it. Look at that purple, pink, blue, yellow, all of the shades. Oh my goodness. And this guy, like, you can really see the difference in the reflect on this one. Oh, and on the finger, there's really the purple pink coming out. And then, like, as I come in, pull away, oh, it's so pretty. All right, next shade up is going to be Cat's Eye. Ooh, it looks grungy. Okay, definitely more on the sheer side, so let me build it up a little bit more on here. Oh yeah, so that one goes between like a grungy olivey green to kind of teal blue into like a purplish. So there you can see that teal to green, and then when I come in closer, there's that purple base to it. Like, that is very pretty, very grungy. Oh, I like that mix of colors. That is pretty. Next up is Reptile, and ooh, okay, very nice. So this guy definitely has that kind of reddish brown base, but it is more transparent than we have seen on some of the others. And then it goes from like a pinkish to a greenish. So there you can see that kind of brownish red base. And then on top, it has that very strong green reflect, and then as you come in close, you can see how it switches to kind of that pinkish tone, but very, very pretty, very strong reflect on that one. I mean, like, look at my look at my finger from back here. Oh, it's so pretty, so shiny. Then next up we have Honeymoon. All right, nice bluish tone, little bit less shiny, I would say. This is more of a satin to me and doesn't have too much of a shift to it. So this is just a really nice kind of seafoamish blue shade. Like even on my finger, like it's not quite as shiny as some of the others were. Especially in real life, to me, it's not looking, yeah, I would say that this is more headed into like a cross between a metallic and a satin, just in comparison to the level of shine on some of the others. All right, next up is Blue Aster, and this guy looks very interesting. Okay, so I thought it was gonna be almost purplish. It is like a periwinkle with kind of a goldish shine on top. Yeah, so not quite purple, not quite blue. It is like a really beautiful periwinkle shade with some gold shine on top. That is a gorgeous shade. I really like that one. All right, next up is Palm, and this looks like it's gonna be gorgeous. Yes, oh man. All right, so starts off kind of that brownish raspberry into cranberry, and then changes to kind of like a olivey green tone, but it is very, very pretty. You can really see that kind of cranberry-ish base, and then there you can see how it shifts with that kind of olivey silverish green shine on top. And then goes back to that kind of magenta into raspberry. And then oh, that is pretty. Like, look at that on my finger. You can really see how it goes between that silverish green into the raspberry red. That is really pretty. All right, so that is it for those types of formulas. And now we are moving into our chunky boys, which are gonna be, I am guessing, very sparkly. So I would say that all of these are going to be the same type of formula as Dragonfly. Like, I really feel like I should have had Dragonfly with these guys. I miscategorized it. So Dreamscape is the first one up, and already on my finger it's looking amazing. So this is definitely more of that like copacetic flakies. Holy smokes. All right, bluish to yellow to peachy to pink to purple. Oh man, oh, that is so pretty. Oh, definitely also has some greenish with that yellow in there, but it is, oh, it is so shiny on there. That is a lovely, lovely shade. That is, I mean, just look at my finger. Look how chrome that is. Oh, that is beautiful. Then we have the shade Lure, and this is a fiery shade. Oh man, this is gonna be so, oh, wow. Ah! Oh, that's a tough competition between the Dragonfly and the Lure shade for which one I like more. So it is like a fiery orangish to yellow, and then also has like a little bit of green in there, and then also a little bit of some peachy tones. Look at that, how shiny that is. And then like, look at that. That is like a fire on my finger. It is so gorgeous. That is a beautiful shade. Like, look at that, you can see kind of a limeish green into yellow into kind of an orangey peachish tone. Beautiful. Yes. All right, then we have Ribbon Candy, which is a hot pink to start things off, and then goes into a fiery orange and then finishes with like a yellowish green. So there's the pink into that yellowish. Oh man, that is pretty. A little bit of the orange tones, almost ever so slight. You can see how the yellow turns a little bit greenish, but these three shades plus this guy, so that one is like your greenish one, so you've really got like all four where it's like blue, green, yellow, and reddish pink between those four. So depending on what you want as your base, like look at that, so pretty. They are just so shiny in real life that like this, I mean, oh, they will be blinding. Then we have the shade Prism, which is just, oh, so like a neon purple base into like the most greenish bluish neon, finishes with like almost a little bit of like a silvery champagne shade. There you can see, I mean, just the purple to the bluish green is just stunning. And then there you can almost see that finish of how it goes almost like yellowish champagne-y white. I mean, that is a stunning shade. Look at, this is what I'm seeing in real life in front of me. This shade Prism is absolutely stunning. Oh my God. Favorite shade. Right now, this is my favorite. Then we have the shade Midnight Rose, which is kind of back to that other formula that we had. That's more of a really nice topper shade. And this is going from like purple to pink with like a little bit of a reddish base on there. Would be really pretty with a darker base underneath. And then you can see how it's just that nice kind of purplish to pink on there. Then we have the shade Honeycomb, which is a very interesting formula that I'm quite, I don't know what to do with that. But it is like a goldish yellow and then has these like little flakes in the pan, but it just ends up being like a really nice kind of goldish tone. Very quickly opaque, but more of that flaky consistency of what you saw with some of these guys. So that is it for the super flaky guys, and we are rapidly running out of room on both arms. So we're gonna have to go to the insides here in a minute, but we're gonna jump into these multi-chromes next, and then we'll get into the foil metallics at the end, and I am ready. All right, we're gonna kick things off with the shade Squirrel, which looks like a deeper red. Oh yeah, like a burnt bronzy shade, and then goes to like a yellowish. And this is definitely still a like chunky formula on there. So burnt reddish into kind of a coppery orange, and then hits a little bit of that yellowish up at the top. So that is very pretty. Look at how chromy this guy is, and it is such a deep shade. That is really pretty. Then we have the shade Rosette, which is just absolutely beautiful. Has that kind of raspberry undertone to it, and then goes from green to yellow, cranberry, bronzy. Like you can see all of the different tones. There's like your greenish yellow into the cranberry, and then as I come in close, kind of a little bit coppery, and then there's that yellowish. It just all the different shifts with that really nice dark base to it. Here it is on the finger, very nice and chromy. That is a lovely shade. Next one up is Mirope, and this is super chrome-tastic, and it is so smooth. Look at that, blue to purple to like a greenish tone, I mean, with some red in there. That is stunning. And it has that really nice black base to it. So gorgeous. I mean, look at how chromy that is. And it, yeah, I mean, that level of shine, that is gorgeous. Ooh, there's that really nice evergreen into the teal blue, into the purple. Oh, so nice. All right, next up is Lagoon Nebula, and this one is a bit chunkier again. Oh man. Oh, look at it. Okay, so you start off with that kind of fuchsia shade. Then you can see a little bit of like some reddish into a yellow, into orange, coppery. I mean, so purple to pinkish fuchsia, orangey to yellow, like all of that. Look, oh man, love it. That is so stunning. I mean, and again, that same really nice level of shine. I will say this is a more smooth consistency, and this guy was back to being a little bit more chunky, but that is a gorgeous shade. Then we have the shade Witch Head, which is back to that really nice smooth consistency. I would say this is like the next step over. So if you're looking at like the rainbow line of shifts, this guy started off with that greenish into teal blue into purple. This is the next line over. So it's starting with that kind of purplish and then goes into almost like a bluish to magenta, and just absolutely stunning on there. I mean, very, very beautiful. Look at that purple to pink with the blue on there. Oh man, that red at the top is very, very pretty. And it is just so smooth of a consistency. So you can really see the difference on this guy with it being green to then purple and blue. And then this guy is purple to blue with a little bit of some reddish in there. Very, very nice. Then we have the shade Shapeshifter, which is back to that more chunky kind of consistency, but hugely foiled. All right, so starts off with blue, then we go into purple, right there, and then it definitely hits like a pinkish, let me show on my finger, you can see the pink at the top there. I clearly can't bend my arm properly, but so foiled. I mean, absolutely gorgeous, really nice blue. You can see the blue, and then purple, and then fuchsia. That is absolutely stunning. And it is just also almost kind of ends with like a yellowish copper tone on there, depending on how the light is hitting it. I think I'm gonna try and swatch up my hand so that way I can continue to move it, because like my arm only bends so far. So this next one is Galactic Shift, and it is a gorgeous chromy green, like that limey green into yellow with some blue. There you go, you can see it switch into the teal. Definitely gets darker on there. There you go, almost gets into a little bit of some purple towards the end with that bluish shift, but so chromy. I mean, look at that. That is stunning. There you can see the blue up at the top. Oh man, it is just, look at that shine from back here. Wow, that is like, man, that is like a light on my hand. I'm like signaling an aircraft with this shade. All right, and then the last shade is going to be Love Story, and this guy is a very interesting shade, very pastel-y, but still, look at that. So it's kind of like a yellowish to pink shift on there, but very pastel in nature. You can really see that kind of chrominess to it. Goes between like a pinkish, like a burnt rose there, into a really nice yellow. Very interesting shade. But you can almost barely even see it on there. So it just creates this weird shine, because it's equally in real life as foiled as this guy. So it's really interesting to see just how, like, there you can see the pink, and then as I bring it in close to the yellow. So that's really interesting with this guy, because it is super shiny. So then we have the shade Jupiter, and this is where we're starting to get into the more metallic-y shades. This one starts off with that same kind of brownish red base, and then just has like a coppery gold finish on top. But look at how foiled and shiny that shade is. So gorgeous on there. Really nice grungy gold because of that brownish red base to it. Creates a gorgeous shadow. Really nice. And then we have the shade Pyramid, which is also very chromy, very gold, but you can clearly see the difference. Much more brassy tones to more yellowish tones in the difference between those two golds, but both very, very shiny and reflective. So that is super nice. You can just tell that because of the base on this one, it just adds that grungy nature to it, whereas this one is more of like just a standard goldish shade. Ever so slight, I would say a little bit of some green added into this one, which really makes that yellow stand out on there. All right, then we have the shade Diamond, which is another foil, and this guy doesn't have any base to it, so it is just very clear base, but look at that shine. It is ever so slight that it has like a little bit of a off-white beigey undertone to it, but that silverish champagne shine on there, you can see it in comparison to these guys, same level of reflect of that foil, so very, very nice. Then we have one more goldish foil, and this is the shade Helios, and I would say it's like in between the other two golds, so very nice natural gold, and you can see it in comparison to the other two, very close in shade, but still slightly different. This guy has a little bit more of like a yellowish, limey to orange undertone, whereas this guy is just very straight yellow gold. And so 3 different versions of gold depending on what type you are looking for, and you can just see, oh, look at how chromy that is. And then the final chrome shade is the shade Illuminate Me, and holy crap, look at that. Wow, that is so shiny, immediately opaque. I mean, if you're wanting more of a softer guy, this is the one to go with, the diamond shade. This guy is what you need to go with if you are just wanting in-your-face foils. Like, look at that. Ooh, could you imagine combining the greenish multichrome with that guy? Oh my god, people would see you for miles. So that is absolutely stunning, but that is absolutely everything. These are all of the swatches of all of the different shades, and I would love to know what you guys think of absolutely everything. If you haven't checked out the videos that I did on some of the other shades, I definitely had included all of the hollow multichromes in previous videos, as well as a bunch of other shades. So if you haven't checked out those videos, make sure you go check them out. But I just want to know, what do you guys think of all of this? I think they are an outstanding brand. I think that they are reasonably priced for what you are getting. And so if you're living in Europe and you want to test out a great brand, Pastel Roses is the way to go. If you live in the US, I would definitely wait until they're having one of their sales that you can save a little bit of money. Their shipping is not bad at all. So I will definitely throw that out there. But yeah, I just want to know what you guys think of absolutely everything. I'm like, this whole hand, this inside of this hand, I mean, some of these like more flaky chromy glitters, like, I mean, this Dragonfly shade, this is what it looks like in the pan. It is just so blinding. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really, really nice. And then the other shade that was my favorite, the Prism shade, that is, look at this insanity. Look at that. So many amazing shades. So please let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of everything. Have any of you guys tested out the Pastel Roses yet? If so, what did you guys think? And give me a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you did not, as we always do here. And if you made it to the end of the video and you have not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would join my family here. We talk a ton about indie brands, we do really colorful makeup, and we swatch all the things always. So if that sounds like fun for you, I would love it if you would join my family here. At least drop a comment down below so we can get to know each other. And other than that, you guys just go have a good one.